can start in a comfortable seated position. Rolling your shoulders back. Maybe cradling your right hand in your left hand. Maybe your thumbs are touching. If you have a block, maybe you're sitting on your block. So your knees are lower than your waist, your hip bones. We're just going to find our breath. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe relaxing your eyelids so they're either closed or with a soft gaze. On the floor, on your mat, on your block. Elongating your spine. Maybe dipping your chin a bit so your neck is elongated. And we're just going to count 10 breaths here. Really feeling ourselves in this space and becoming present in this space. Leaving everything else that happened before or what's going to happen after, just leaving that to the ether, just letting it go. And just counting your breaths, counting your inhales. And if at any point you lose track, no worries, you can just start again from 1. So we're counting 10 breaths here. Maybe as you're breathing in, you can think about an intention that you'd like to make or to think of throughout your class today. It could be anything. It could be a word, a phrase, a dedication, a mantra. Throughout this class, I'd like to think about gratitude. Focus on gratitude. Sometimes it's hard to find something that we're grateful for. So maybe just finding something small, like waking up this morning, having food in your house. As we are grateful for the small things, it's easier to find bigger things. And our hearts will be open to more love and peace. So we'll just come back to our normal breaths. Finding awareness in your body. Maybe fluttering your eyelids open, rolling your shoulders back. And we're going to do a couple cat and cows in a seated position. So breathing in, we're going to arch our backs, maybe bring your head or gaze up to the ceiling. And then breathing out, our belly buttons are going to go towards our backs, rounding our backs, gaze is towards the floor. And then again, cow, arching your back, and then cat. And let's just do that a couple times on your own, linking the breath to the movement. And then just do one more round. And then finding stillness. We're going to look up to the sky, maybe dropping your chin, opening your mouth, and then down toward your legs. And then one more time up to the sky, and then down towards our legs. Look to the right, and then look to the left. Look to the right again, and then look to the left. And then we're going to roll our neck so you can start with your right ear to your right shoulder, and then around to the back, relaxing your jaw as you're rounding to the back, and then left ear to left shoulder, and then chin to chest. We'll just go around one more time. Breathing in as you go around to the back, breathing out as you come forward. Again, one more time, breathing in, and then breathing out. We're going to reverse this movement, so left ear to left shoulder. Breathing in, and then breathing out as your head comes to the front, head, chin to chest. Breathing in as your head goes to the back, and breathing out. And then we're going to find our neutral spine here. One more, shoulders to the back, and then shoulders to the front. And then let's find our first downward facing dog. So however you get there, you can come through your tabletop and then come up to your down dog, maybe pedaling out, pushing your hands into your mat, whatever feels good for you right here. And finding stillness. We're going to come up on our toes, pushing our hands into the mat. So our hips are really pushed towards the back of the mat. And then coming down one more time on your toes, and then down. We're going to come on our toes this time, and then we're going to, like a wave, we're going to come into our plank. And then back into our down dog. Again, on our toes, like a wave, we're going to come into our plank. And then back into our down dog. One more time on your toes, in a plank. And then this time we're going to lower ourselves all the way down to the mat. And maybe just finding yourself here. You can bring your forehead to the mat, maybe rocking back and forth with your forehead, giving yourself a little head massage. Bring your hands by your head. And then we're going to come up into a Sphinx pose. And then come back down. One more time into a Sphinx pose. And then releasing down. We're going to push ourselves maybe up into table and then all the way up into down dog. Pushing our hands into the mat, really feeling your strength here. And then we're going to walk our hands to our feet this time. I don't do that very often in this class. We might do that a little bit more today. In our first ragdoll position. So really releasing your neck here. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, swinging back and forth. Bending your knees. And then releasing, rolling up to standing, breathing in, hands come overhead. Bring your hands into prayer position overhead. And then we're just gonna bending our elbows into reverse prayer. Maybe looking up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. Breathing in your gratitude. And then hands come overhead. And then we're gonna come down into a forward fold. Breathing out. Halfway lift. And let's just hold this halfway lift just a little bit. Really feeling the strength in your flat back. The energy shooting out through the crown of your head. And then breathing in and breathing out into a forward fold. This time we're going to walk our hands out into a downward facing dog. Feeling the strength in this pose, really pushing your hands into the mat. Feeling your upper and middle back and lower back releasing. And this time we're going to walk our feet to our hands into a forward fold. This time our hands are going to clasp behind our back. And if it feels good, maybe pushing your hands towards the front of your mat. Releasing your hands down towards the mat and rolling yourself up into a standing position. Hands come overhead into prayer up at the top over your head. And then we're going to push ourselves to the right side. Pushing our left foot into our mat. Feeling the space that you're creating in your left side. And then coming back to straight, neutral. And then pushing yourself over to the left side. Feeling the energy from your right foot shooting up all the way to the tips of your fingers. Coming back to neutral. Hands come to heart center. And then down by your sides, rolling your shoulders back. Feeling the strength in your mountain pose, Tadasana. Maybe closing your eyes here. Bending your knees a little bit. Really noticing how your joints are stacking. Maybe tilting your pelvis forward just a bit. Engaging your core. Engaging your Mula Bandha, your pelvic floor, core strength. Thinking about that core coming up. Not really clenching, but bringing that energy up through your body, through the crown of your head. And we're going to breathe in, hands come overhead. Breathing out, forward fold. We're going to go through our first vinyasa flow here. Halfway lift, forward fold. And then your right foot is going to shoot out through the back of your mat. And then your left foot, so you're in your plank. You can come to your knees here. And we're going to go all the way down to the mat. And then coming up into our cobra. And then to our downward facing dog. Pushing your hands into the mat. We're going to walk our hands to our feet again. Into our forward fold. We're going to bring our hands through the backs of our legs, and then we're going to try to grab onto our shins. You can bend your legs here if that feels better. So your legs are hip width apart. Relaxing your neck. Releasing your hands. And we're going to walk our hands out into our downward facing dog. Pedaling out here just a little bit. I want you to see if you can move your hips a bit here. Feels a little bit different. We're going to find stillness. We're going to come up on our tippy toes and we're going to flow through that wave again into plank. We're going to come up into our downward facing dog again, and then tippy toes into plank, and then downward facing dog again. We're going to look past our hands, bending our knees, and you can either jump or step into your forward fold. Hands come overhead to standing. Breathing in and breathing out, hands come to heart center. Finding your strength. Breathing in, hands come overhead. And then we're going to sit into our wide-legged chair pose. And then forward fold. And then step or hop into plank. You can stay here or go into to your knees. We're going to go down into our chaturanga. You can go all the way down or halfway into your up dog and then downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here. We're going to bring our right leg up. Bending your knee into your first three-legged dog. Really feeling those hips stacking, opening up your hips. And then we're going to swing our knee to our nose, rounding our back. And then all the way up, we're going to kick your leg all the way up. And then knee to nose again, rounding your back. Kicking your leg up, and this time we're going to use the same movement to swing our leg through our hands, releasing your back knee into your first low lunge. Hands come overhead, breathing in, and maybe sinking yourself down into this low lunge, feeling your hips opening up, squaring your hips to the front of the mat. And then we're going to bring our hands together into prayer and then bending our elbows into reverse prayer. Our gaze is up to the sky, a little baby back bend. Our hands come back to the mat, and then we're going to come up into pyramid pose. So our hips are still hip width apart here, like train tracks. Releasing our neck. And bringing both feet to the front of the mat. Toes come together this time as we swing up into our chair pose. Really feeling as if both of your legs are one strong leg. Really pushing into each other. Strength in your legs. And then coming down into a forward fold. We're going to breathe in up to standing. Hands come overhead. Hands come to heart center, and then down to our mountain pose. Hands come by your side to your mountain pose. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe rolling your shoulders back, So hands come overhead, breathing in. Breathing out, we come to our forward fold. You can hop or step into your plank. Coming down to your chaturanga, upward facing dog or cobra, into your downward facing dog. We're going to lift our left foot up this time, bending our knee, stacking our hips. Bringing our knee to nose, rounding your back, shooting your leg up to the sky. Again, knee to nose, rounding your back, shooting your leg up to the sky. Using the same movement to bring your leg through your hands. Dropping your back knee, and then bringing your hands overhead. Breathing in. Releasing your shoulders. Bring your hands together into prayer. Bending your elbows into reverse prayer. Gazes up to the sky. And bring your hands down to the mat. Up to your pyramid pose. Releasing your neck. And bring both to the front of your mat. Toes come together. And then we're going to swing ourselves into our chair pose. Hands are going to come to heart center this time into prayer. And we're going to do a twist to the right. So your elbow is going to link by your knees. Twisting out any energy that you don't want anymore. It does not serve you. And then coming back to center, going to the other side. Coming back to center, forward fold. Breathing in and breathing out. Halfway lift, forward fold. And then either jump or step into your plank, down to your chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then downward facing dog. Just taking a couple breaths here. We're going to swing our leg up to the sky. This time, instead of bending our knee, we're going to square our hips off with our mat. So our hips are square to the mat. And then bringing our right leg up as far as we can, really pushing our hands into the mat. And then swinging knee to nose, rounding our back, and then kicking that leg up again. Knee to nose, rounding our back, kicking the leg up again, and then using that movement and that strength to shoot your foot through your hands. And then we're going to come up to our high lunge. So your back foot, the heel of your back foot is up. Nice job. You're feeling your strength in this pose. You can breathe in, and when you're ready, your hands can come overhead. We're going to do a little twist. So your left hand is going to come to the floor, your right hand is going to come up. Feeling the strength in your legs. And then we're going to use our core to bring us up into a warrior two pose. Relaxing your shoulders, maybe pinching your shoulder blades together. This time when you're in your warrior two, maybe think about pushing your feet into the mat. Noticing how that feels. Now we're going to flip our front hand up into our reverse warrior. Maybe bringing your shoulder, pushing your right shoulder to the back just a little bit more. Opening your heart up to the sky a little bit more. And then we're going to swing ourselves down, both hands down to the mat. And then swing your right foot all the way up to the sky. And then bring it down to the mat. Taking a couple breaths here in down dog. Or if you need to, you can go into a child's pose here. Take a couple breaths. Whatever feels good for you. Coming back to downward facing dog. We're gonna bring our left foot up, squaring our hips off to the mat. Bringing our knee to nose, rounding your back. Bringing your leg back up to the sky, knee to nose again, rounding your back, leg comes up to the sky, and then using that movement, that momentum, to bring your foot through your hands. Finding your stability, and then if it feels good, bringing your hands overhead, relaxing your shoulders, breathing into this pose. Feeling your strength. And then our right hand is going to come to the mat. We're going to do a little twist. Bring our left hand up to the sky. Using our strength to swing into our warrior two. Pushing our feet into the mat. And then flipping our palm, our left palm, and bringing that overhead into our reverse warrior. Still bending our knees, making sure that our knees are going over our second toe. And then we're going to cartwheel our way down to the mat, swinging our left foot back all the way up to the sky. And then into our down dog. Bringing ourselves into tabletop. Big toes come together and we're going to bring ourselves down into child's pose. Taking a couple breaths here. Maybe walking your hands a little bit more towards the front of your mat. Coming back up into tabletop. Bring yourself back up into down dog. And this time when you're in down dog, so we're going to push our hands into our mat. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to take our right hand and see if we can touch our left shin. And then bring it back to the front of your mat. Let's do that again on the other side. So left hand is going to come to right shin and then bring it back to the mat. Let's do it with the right side again. So right hand comes to left shin and then bring it back to the front of the mat. Left hand comes to right shin and then bring it back to the front of the mat. And then we're just going to take a couple breaths here in our downward facing dog. We're going to look to the front of our mat, bending our knees, And then hopping or stepping into our ragdoll position, forward fold. Breathing in, up to standing, hands come overhead. And then hands come to heart center and to our mountain pose. Rolling our shoulders back. Feeling our strength here. So we're gonna meet in down dog. So however you want to get there is totally fine. If you want to go for a vinyasa flow and meet us in down dog, or if you just want to go right to down dog, however you want to do. But we'll breathe in, hands overhead, and then you can either start your flow or meet us in down dog. So now that we're here in down dog, we're gonna bring our right foot up. We're gonna swing it through our hands, and we're gonna come up to warrior one. So find your strength. Align your knee with your second toe. And if it feels good, bring your hands overhead, pushing your feet into the mat. Maybe we'll bring, if it feels right, bring your hands, clasp your hands behind your back, bringing your heart up, pushing your hands towards the back of the mat. And then if you want to take it a step further, we're going to go down into humble warrior. So your shoulder, your right shoulder, is going to come to your knee. Releasing your hands, we're just going to come right up to warrior one again. And then warrior two. And then reverse warrior. Side angle. Breathing in reverse warrior again. Side angle. One more time, breathing in, reverse warrior. Breathing out, side angle. We're going to bring our hands to the inside of our foot. We're going to heel toe our right foot out, bringing our knee down, our left knee down into our lizard. So if this feels good for you, just stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can bring your forearms down to the mat, or if you have a block, you can bring it down to the block. Whatever feels good for you. Hold it for 1, 2, 3, releasing, coming back up, and then we're going to bring our knee up. We'll swing our right foot back into down dog. Breathing in, and breathing out. We're going to look past our hands, bending our knees, creating a little movement, maybe a little bounce, and jumping or stepping into our forward fold. Breathing in, hands come overhead to standing. Breathing out, hands come to heart center. One more time, breathing in and breathing out, hands come to heart center. And we will meet again in downward facing dog. Breathing in, hands come up. Our left foot is going to kick up to the sky, and we're going to swing it through using that momentum through our hands. We're going to come up into warrior two. It feels good. Hands are going to come overhead. Then we're going to bring our hands behind our backs, clasping our fingers together, pushing our hands towards the back of the mat. Our heart comes up. And then we're going to come down into humble warrior if that feels good. Releasing our hands, swinging up into warrior two. Releasing our shoulders, feeling strength shooting through our fingertips. Flipping your palm, coming into reverse warrior. Then into side angle. Breathing in into reverse warrior. Breathing out into side angle. Breathing in into reverse warrior again. And then breathing out into side angle. Our hands are going to come down to the mat. Inside our foot, our left foot, heel toeing our left foot to the edge of the mat. Releasing your right knee down to the mat. And whatever variation you'd like to choose for this lizard pose, really breathing in to your hips, opening up your hips. We'll hold this for 3, 2, 1. Bring our hands back to the mat, bringing our knee back up. And then this time we're going to use our strength to bring our right foot up towards the edge of the mat into our malasana. So there are a couple variations you can use here. You can sit on a block or a pillow if that feels good. Focus of this pose is to really push your knees out with your elbows and elongate your spine. Strengthening your spine. And then let's bring our hands to the mat, coming up to a wide forward fold. Releasing your neck. Maybe taking your big toes and your peace fingers and pulling down, pulling your head down towards the mat. Your elbows are out. Releasing, heel toeing your feet, hip width apart. And then we're going to breathe in to standing, rolling up, hands come overhead. Breathing out, hands come to heart center. And if you'd like, you can take one more vinyasa and we will meet in down dog, or we can just meet each other in down dog. Now that we're here in down dog, we're going to do that little sequence again. So we bring our right hand to our left shin, and then bring it back to the front of your mat. Left hand to right shin, bring it back to the front of your mat. And this time, when you bring your right hand to your left shin, maybe looking through under your armpits this time. So your right hand comes to left shin, and maybe you look under your arm. And then bring it back. And then left hand comes to right shin, and you're looking under your arm. Let's just breathe here in a down dog. This time, your left leg is going to shoot up to the sky and through your hands. Your right knee is going to come down to the mat. Establish yourself here in your low lunge. Breathing in and breathing out. Hands are going to come overhead if that feels good. And then they're going to come into prayer and then reverse prayer again, opening your heart. And then bring your hands, your right hand to the mat. We're going to do a little twist. So left hand comes to the sky. If you wanted to take this twist a little further, you can bring your hand to prayer position and then hook your elbow to your knee. So whichever variation feels good for you. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to come up to pyramid pose once again. This time we're going to come up to halfway lift, really engaging your core, and then bringing yourself down to forward to fold. We're going to come to the pivoting to the wide edge of the mat. Toes are out. Heels are in. We're going to bring our hands to our waist. And then we're going to come up and squatting into our goddess. Really feeling our legs fire up here. And then bringing our hands to goalpost, those cactus arms. Maybe sitting, squatting a little bit more into this pose. With the fire, we're releasing any tension or negativity that we no longer want or serves us. And then let's shoot up to star. And then down again to goddess. One more time up to star. And then down again into goddess. Coming into a forward fold, so hands come to the mat. Releasing our neck. And then pivoting back towards the front of our mats. And then both feet come together at the front of your mat. And then breathing in, hands come overhead. Breathing out, forward fold. You can go through your vinyasa again, or we can just meet in down dog. All right, this time our right foot is going to come up and we're going to bring it through, releasing our back knee, feeling our stability. Breathing in, your hands can come overhead into prayer, reverse prayer. And hands come overhead, so you can choose your variation of your twist. You can have your hands in prayer position, or you can just bring your left hand down to the mat and right hand up. So whatever feels good for you. hands, both hands down to the mat. We're going to come up in pyramid. We're going to come up to a halfway lift. And then we're going to release down into a fold. It's totally okay to bend your knee a little bit here, releasing the pressure. And then we're going to pivot to the wide edge of the mat. I'm going to pivot towards you. You're going to pivot towards the wide edge of the mat. And then this time, we're going to do that goddess again. We're going to bring our hands to our waist, coming all the way up, coming down into our goddess. We can do this. Hands come to cactus. Maybe we come down just a little bit further, and then up into star. And then down into goddess one more time. Up into star. And then let's bring ourselves down into a forward fold. Bringing your toes towards the front of the, we're still in a wide-legged forward fold. We're just gonna bring our toes facing the front and not towards the outside of the mat. Just kind of release your neck, release your lower back. Maybe walking your hands through your legs, towards the back of your legs, if that feels good. And then we're going to pivot towards the front of our mat, bringing both feet together. Breathing in, we're coming up to standing, hands come overhead. Breathing out, we're coming to hands to heart center. And then we're going to come to our Tadasana. Rolling our shoulders back. And then today we're just going to do a simple back to our roots balancing pose, so our tree pose. So feeling all four corners of your feet into the mat. Feeling the strength in your right leg. We're going to bring our left leg up to wherever feels good for you in tree pose. Your hands can come to prayer, or you can bring your arms up, growing your tree branches. Feeling the strength in your core here. Feeling the strength coming through your foot all the way up to the crown of your head. Hands come back to prayer. Releasing your tree, maybe shaking your leg out a little bit. Then feeling the strength in your left foot. Grounding that foot into Mother Earth. Bringing your right foot into your tree, wherever it feels good. Maybe bringing your hands to prayer. Maybe growing your tree branches. Really focusing on one point in the room. And then mindfully and slowly bringing yourself back to your neutral place. Rolling your shoulders back to your Tadasana. Feeling your strength in this pose. And then if you would like, you can go through one last vinyasa. Or you can just lead us in the child's pose. So whatever you want to do. Here in child's pose, we're going to do a little shoulder stretch. So bring your right hand all the way up to the sky. We're going to bring it under our left, releasing our shoulder. Then you can bring your left hand up towards the front of your mat. Moving into this pose. Up, right hand comes up to the sky, releasing it down towards the mat. The left hand comes up, bringing it under your right arm, releasing your shoulder to the mat and your head, and then your right hand towards the front of your mat. We're going to bring our left hand all the way up to the front and down towards the mat. We're going to inchworm. So our hands are going to inch towards the front of the mat. Our hips are going to stay up, and you're going to release your forehead to the mat. We're going to bring ourselves up into tabletop and then just into a seated position. So I'm going to face you here. Let's bring our feet together into Baddha Konasana. So the bottoms of our feet come together. We're going to, if this feels good, we're just going to walk our hands towards the front. And wherever you land is fine. We just want our back to be straight. And then once you find your place, maybe releasing your neck. And then bringing yourself back up, shooting your legs out towards the front. And then bringing your arms overhead, breathing in. And then breathing out, we're going to go as far down as we can with our torso straight. And then when you find your comfortable position where you can't go any further, then release your neck. And then coming back up, we're going to do a twist. So we're going to bring our right leg up towards your chest, squeezing your right leg towards your chest. And if this feels good, stay here. If not, you can cross over. And then you're going to bring your left arm around, or you can just squeeze your leg. And then we're going to look over our right shoulder. Breathing in length, breathing out twist. Let's do the other side. So our right leg shoots out to the front, left leg comes towards the chest, maybe squeezing it towards our chest, maybe crossing it over our right, and then either squeezing our leg towards our chest, or you can bring your elbow around, whatever feels good for you here. And then looking over your left shoulder, Breathing in, length. Breathing out, twist. All right, let's come back to neutral. We're going to bring our feet to the mat, knees up, hands forward, and let's mindfully and slowly as we can, just bring ourselves all the way down to the mat. Knees come to chest squeezing, maybe creating a little back and forth here, and then letting your knees drop to your right side. Hands come out, arms come out to a T, maybe looking over towards your left hand. And then bringing your knees up, squeezing again towards your chest, and then letting them fall towards your left side. And then maybe gaze is towards your right hand. Coming back to neutral, finding any pose that you'd like to do to get ready for Shavasana, or find your way into your last pose, your corpse pose, Shavasana. Feeling your body melting into the mat. Relaxing any tension, releasing any tension that you might be holding right now. Any last bits that you're still holding. We're going to come back to our 10 breaths. Breathing in our gratitude. Counting each inhale. And again, at any point, you lose count, you can just start with. Deepening your breaths here. Maybe giving yourself a full body stretch, and it's going to be good. Maybe rolling over to one side in a fetal position. Taking a couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, bring yourself up to a seated position. Into the center, palms pressing into the heart. Feeling your gratitude. Coming back to the intention that you made at the beginning of this class. Maybe spreading this peace that we created today for others throughout the day and throughout the week. Coming back to this peace.